answer the question. A global atheist is there is no creator. I'm not a hard atheist. Okay, sir, listen to me. When you have two strikes against you, if you try to dodge anymore, I'm going to kick you. I don't want to kick you. Do you want a mature adult and stop evading my questions? Stop jingling on the microphone like you're a schoolgirl. This is embarrassing for a man of your age. Now, is atheism true because there's no evidence for God? I think atheism is the most likely conclusion because there is I'm not getting a straightforward answer. I'm going to ask you one last time. If I don't get a straight answer from you, rather than getting a circuitous, obfuscatory answer, I'm going to kick you. Is atheism true because there's no evidence for God? I don't believe in God because there's no evidence. Is atheism true because there's no evidence for God? Yes or no? Why is it a bad thing? I saw my little boy. Okay. Is he close? Fine, but he wasn't willing to work within my bounds of being an agnostic atheist. He called it like a bait and switch and all this other kind of stuff. Basically, he was trying to pin me into a corner and try to get me to admit to things that I don't necessarily believe and play his presupposition game. I wasn't allowing him to do that, so he cheated me out. Of course, this is no surprise because generally this is how presuppositionalists operate. And as you'll notice,
hi, Wednesday.
Oh, I heard your real voice.
You have?
Yes.
Fiction.
Oh, was that you on the other line when I called Edward? Hi, Edward. How's the terrorist going, Edward? How are you? I mean, you're so stupid, Edward. We got your ass. We got you too, Wednesday. We've reported you to the FBI, Department of Homeland Security. You're finished. You're all wrapped up. We got you in a box now. You're in big trouble. Big trouble. You're in bigger trouble. You're a terrorist. We got your ass. You're finished. Oh, you better be. They're gonna kick your door in. They're gonna arrest you, take you to a black site overseas. Maybe Egypt. No one knows where they go. If you come back, let us know where they took you.
There's no risk or possibility that that anonymous user can do anything other than listen in the public room, and therefore they should have every right to be there. About blocking, because we did hear some, questions about that, where the reality is right now, a moderator cannot remove an anonymous listener from a room. There's a bit of philosophy behind that about what the function of blocking is and what the function of privacy controls are. So what we want to say here is normal blocking rules apply. If you couldn't get in a room because you're blocked by a speaker, you still won't be able to get in that room in anonymous mode. I saw a lot of people ask about that. And if you are removed from a room, you won't be able to re-enter as anonymous either.
Awesome, thank you, Adam. That brings up one of the questions that we've got, which is why can't hosts and mods remove anonymous listeners from a room?
Yeah, I started to talk about that in the last paragraph and realized we're getting ahead of myself a little bit with the question, but it's because I know that people are jumping at the bit to understand this. So removing, I mentioned that there's some philosophical underpinnings to what we think about removals and privacy controls for. So removing someone from a room is meant as a remedy when someone is being disruptive. It is not meant as a privacy control. So it is when somebody's stirring some things up and really, really disrupting the experience for other people. Privacy is meant to be achieved by the different room and house access types that we've had. We've got private rooms, private houses, friends of friends rooms, etc., where we want people to be using those to limit the scope of who can see the room, who can join the room. So anonymous listeners, again, they don't have any ability to be disruptive in the room. Noted footnote about the gifts that we are reviewing. But the main ways of interacting being voice and the chat. So we make the decision to stay true to the purpose of removals and leave them be for removing people who can be disruptive.
Thanks for that context.
one thing I kind of want to add here, which I don't know if anyone's kind of picked up on, but we for a while had web listening, and that was actually completely anonymous. And as many of the members of the community noted in some discussions I listened to this week, people removed from a room often come back, as like you said earlier, in burners. So as you explained, there's a little bit of context here and some history. So you couldn't be in a room as anonymous unless you had the ability to join that room already, and that makes total sense, and that's a really good kind of benchmark for understanding what rooms you could be in. You're not going to be able to join if you couldn't already. So that's super helpful, and that was also the case. That was not the case with web listening, so that's super important. I think that hopefully covers most of people's questions about anonymous listening. I'm sure if you've got some more, you will let us know, but I'm glad we were able to talk about that. But we got 3 more features to talk about. So Allie, what is next?
Yes, we do. So the next is the ability to see who viewed your profile.
Yep, it sure is. This one was one of the most requested features from our user research. It's pretty similar to what you would find on a variety of other platform apps, from LinkedIn to the wild world of dating apps. And I kind of have this quippy philosophy that if it exists on both of those, it probably should be considered for Clubhouse. So the feature, it shows who's viewed you in the last week, and that's a rolling window of the last 7 days from this moment. So obviously anybody can already look at a profile that's not private, and we're just adding the ability for you to see who viewed yours. People requested this very, very highly, and it's easy to understand why. You're on Clubhouse to make connections, and this is a great way of helping you connect with new people. Connect with new people, not directly at first, but in the sense of understanding who's maybe interested in you, who's checking you out, maybe you check them back out. And the data shows it's working. As we peer in to see how people are starting to use these features, exactly as hypothesized, many new connections in the form of friendships have actually been forming from use of this feature and people having a little bit of an icebreaker to see soft touch interactions before they step up to the bigger, scarier reach out. You view someone, you like what they're about, maybe you add them, and they see that you view them, maybe feel the same, add you back. Now you have a new friend, and that is what Clubhouse is all about.
A soft touch. I like that. I like that phrasing. So one thing I heard, and it would be great for us to kind of talk about in this capacity, who's viewed your profile? Is this a privacy concern?
I don't believe so. So if I understand the concern correctly, from listening in on some rooms, it's that people have a misunderstanding that everyone could view who viewed your profile. That's not at all the case. So your list of profile viewed visitors is only visible to you, and it's never shared publicly, and it is limited to the past 7 days. This is a fairly standard premium feature, as I mentioned, across many kind of network apps, LinkedIn, Tinder, and other dating apps. I know there was an assumption that anyone could see who's viewed anyone else's profile, but just to repeat myself, that is not true. Only you can see who viewed yours, and we don't think that that is a violation of privacy at all.
Okay. You know what's really interesting about this one? There's a use case, I guess, that people are using this feature for. So a couple people I've seen are interpreting who's viewed your profile as a way to see which mod removed somebody from a room. Like, for example, if I kick you out of this room right now, if you tap your profile, you'll see that I was the last person to view you, so you'll know it was me that kicked you out. But that's not really the case, right? That's not real. That wasn't an intent.
Neither is it an intent, nor is it real. So if somebody viewed my profile, and then after viewing my profile, kicked me out of the room, yes, they would show me that they viewed my profile, because in fact they did. But I'll remind you that it's actually not a requirement to view someone's profile to remove them from a room. The most common way, as we look at the data, that people remove others from a room is by long pressing on their face, pulling up that contextual action sheet where you can directly remove someone from the room. That pathway is not a profile view, does not trigger it, and as I said, when we looked in the data, it's actually the most common way people are removed from a room. So if you did get booted out and you look at your profile views and you see someone at the top, chances are, no, that is not who removed you from the room. That is very simply who last looked at you, which, as a reminder, can come from anywhere in the app. It is not only people in the room with you who might be looking at your profile, but those who are looking at replays, traversing friends of friends, in search results, looking at events you may have RSVP'd to. There's a myriad ways that your profile can come up on someone's screen to be tapped on, and that would show in your views regardless of where it came from.
Got it. So I'm going to just take a little side excursion here because I can't ever say this one enough. It's a great opportunity to remind everyone that if you're hosting a room or moderating a room, be super judicious about who you give your moderator badges to, because we will never be able to share with you who ended a room, who kicked someone out of a room. That stuff is not something that we can share. That is a violation of our privacy policy. So be really careful who gets the green bean, and just want to reiterate that for the millionth time because it is worth saying time and time again. So that is everything on who views your profile, I think. Abby, what's our next feature?
All right, so this next one's for all of you who have been sliding into our inbox asking how to add your Instagram or link up your LinkedIn. Maybe you do not have access anymore. We hear you. You can now add links to your profile page. Yay, this is exciting. But heads up, this one tends to trip people up a little bit, so we're going to break it down. Back to you, Adam.
All right, I've known people have wanted this for a while. This being to add their Instagram, their Twitter, Twitter, and as well as other links. This is a good moment to step back and highlight something that those not all of you may know or realize. So we used to have the functionality where you could add your X, Twitter, or Instagram profiles to your Clubhouse by officially connecting it, signing in and proving that you owned that account. A little while back, first X and then Meta both removed the ability to do this through the API. And so we could no longer provide verified access for new connections to those platforms. We couldn't make the new connections. And so that feature, not by our own doing, sort of quietly sunsetted for anyone who didn't have it already connected. We decided to move by force to this unverified model where people can freeform put links on their profile. And so now with Clubhouse Plus, you can add any links you want. Your LinkedIn, your TikTok, your favorite playlist, your Pet's IG page. You could add Barack Obama's LinkedIn if you wanted to. There's no longer a representation that the link there is an account you own, if it is linking to an account, or that it's a page that you own. It is simply content that you want to point people to. And you can add up to 8 links on your profile as a Clubhouse Plus subscriber. You can change it. Now, if you had your X or Instagram accounts connected before, that will not be impacted by whether you are a subscriber or not. We have migrated those links into the new format for you, and so even not being a subscriber, those links will stay until you remove them.
Just one, like you said earlier, super requested feature for a long time, especially people that do rooms as part of their businesses or any stuff like that. So 8 links is super fun. Let's move on to the last feature, which actually I haven't heard that much about, but I think it's actually super fun because it's something that everyone can participate in to some degree. So let's talk about viewing profile photo history. Again, I think it's really fun, but clarification on what the limitations around that are. So tell us a little bit about viewing profile photo history.
Absolutely. All right. So I'm sure this has happened to all of you. You change your profile photo and ask the room to PTR really often because you want to show them something, right? Or you want to change it to be your temporary profile photo, not just to display something, but that's who you want to be represented as for some time, and then you want to change it back. and forth and back and forth. We all change our PR for whatever reason. But then when we want to change it back to something, we have to re-upload the photo. So one thing that we wanted to solve with this feature is that problem. We wanted everyone, not just Clubhouse Plus subscribers, to be able to easily switch back to any previous photo that they have had and chose to still keep on the platform. At the same time, doing this allows people to sort of build up an album on Clubhouse that represents them. And that is a great thing. That is a very sort of standard thing that many social profile having apps will have. We decided it's time for us as well. We want to encourage more self-expression, more ability for people to get to know you by browsing through your profile. Following down that line, we've introduced something that's been missing for a long time here, full-size photo support. So the entire photo that you select will be uploaded and viewable in the gallery mode when you tap in to view them, including proper pinch and zoom. And it'll just be that squiggle, it's called, but the sort of weird looking square circle prompt for the avatar display in rooms and around the app. Full-size photos, long time missing, really rich, immersive graphical experience that we think is a huge win. When you pick a profile photo, obviously anybody can see it on Clubhouse, whether it's from your profile or from an avatar in a live room. So we think about these as photos that are public, right? They're photos that were public at one point in time that you made available for anyone in the app to see if they've updated your profile. And so collecting those into an album and making it accessible from your profile photo was a natural extension that felt well aligned. We decided that we wanted to make this compatible with the Clubhouse Plus experience, but make it sort of be reasonable about access. And so the starting point is that if you are friends with someone, you can view their photo history and vice versa. Anybody who you friends means they have added you and you have added them back. In that case, you'll always be able to see the photo history that user has chosen to keep. The benefit for Clubhouse Plus users is that they can see it on non-friends, so they can see anyone's profile photo history, which again is composed of photos that at one point in time or another, every user who put that photo there said, this is okay to be viewed as my photo all across the app.
Yeah, that makes a ton of sense. Thank you, Adam. So another question that's been coming up, similar to the who viewed your profile question that we spoke about earlier, is whether this crosses any privacy lines.
So like I said, profile photos are public. We're public at the moment you chose to upload it. And so you've already signaled that it's okay for this to be viewed. Of course, if you decide you don't want a photo visible anymore, that is in your control. You can curate and delete your own photos, and they will be stricken from your album's record, and no one will ever see them again. So ultimately, you control what photos others see on your profile, and we think that is a reasonable and thoughtful privacy model, and we stand behind it. A really important call out, and this one, I've been waiting this whole session to clarify this, is that your photo history starts from Clubhouse Plus launch day only. I have heard people think that perhaps it goes back to the beginning of time of when you joined Clubhouse. Not true. I've heard people think that it somehow reveals the photos on your iPhone or Android camera roll. Not only not true, literally not possible. We would have no technical way to access that and pull those photos forward. So it starts on the day that we launched Clubhouse Plus, which was this past Tuesday, May 27th. We took whatever was each person's current profile photo and made that the first photo in their album. Nothing before would ever be there. From there forward, every time a new photo is changed or added, it will append your photo album, become your current profile photo, and it lives there until you choose to delete it.
I love it. One thing that I'd love to clarify, because I heard this a lot, This only applies to profile photos. It's not about photos that you've shared in the house chat or in a back-channel message or anywhere else. This is just your profile photos, to your point. So anything else people should know about profile photo albums?
I think just to reiterate the things I said, you can curate and delete your own photos anytime. It's worth reinforcing the album. It just started this past Tuesday, May 27th. Anything you've ever used as a profile photo before this past Tuesday, not included, never will be. So no need to worry if you have some random PTR based on a room from 3 years ago. It's long gone. All new photos only. Similar for if you have a photo from before that had something outside of the crop area, right? That is absolutely not something that will ever be seen because the whole photo wouldn't be seen. And in fact, in those cases, we don't even have the photo outside the crop area. We only uploaded the cropped part. Now we are, again, uploading full-size images, something to be very aware of, and full-size images, and people will be able to browse them in the gallery. So if you want them cropped, if there is a part of that photo you don't want on Clubhouse, crop it in your own Photos app before uploading.
That's a very good pro tip right there.
Yeah, thank you, Adam. So thank you so much for walking us through all of that. Those are the 4 core features, and hopefully that gave everybody some context, answered some questions. If you still have questions, as Joe said, we will take those in town hall next week. So make sure to submit those questions. You can also send in your feedback, and that is going to be the best place to send that is clubhouse.com/what's new.
All right. Before we wrap this up, I want to give a big shout out and thanks to Adam for his coming out party and doing it for this. I think hopefully, big applause. This hopefully will go a long way to clearing up some misperceptions. Again, this replay will be available. It's a 36-minute room, so please share it with people who might have questions or want to know more about it. As Ali said, Town Hall is next week. We will definitely talk more about Plus, so let us know what you want covered. The link is at the top, so RSVP now. Thank you all for coming, and thanks again, Adam. Thanks, Ali, and thank you to the Hand, who's been very quiet and stealth this whole time. So thanks, everyone. We'll see you really soon. Let me shoot up the flame. Thank you.
It has nothing to do with me. It has to do with them and their conscience, them and their relationship with their ancestors. So now, when you get a chance to scream and creation is not God. So those Muslims who believe that the Quran is the mind of God,
I want that proven. I want to see that they systematically implemented a warning kind of system before they
to Jewishness ends. Well, hell yeah, they're gonna take advantage of that. Hell yeah.
Normal is going crazy.
I have an interesting question for you.
Oh.
Just to hear your thoughts on this. The Nobel Science Nobel Award system, approximately 25% are Jews. When they make up 15 million, a very small percentage of the world population. And out of that 25%, the vast majority, I don't want to say all, the vast majority are white Jews. What have you come across this or thought about this, or do you have anything to say about this? Yeah.
I think we need to make a distinction between Europeans who happen to be Jewish and Europeans. The vast majority of Nobel Peace Prize recipients are white, right? In general, they're European. There's no doubt that Germans, Russians, Polish folks, you know what I mean? Extremely brilliant people. I'm not taking that away from them. But if you look at the ones who other people would point to as Jewish, and you instead ask them how they feel about Judaism, most of them will tell you that they're atheists. They were not practicing Jews. They were scientists.
So I How do we get this 25%, 1 out of 4 winning Nobel Science prizes?
Edward, it's obvious. They're educated. They're very smart. They're very dedicated.
Who's
They're
giving out
very
the prizes?
smart.
I don't think it's.
Who's giving out the prizes, Edward?
That's obvious. Well, I want you to speak on this. I want your thoughts. I don't want to bias your opinion.
There's no way you can bias it. The facts speak for
I can also give a hypothesis if you.
Why can't we admit that they are very smart and they're
I would like
very educated?
I would like Eze to answer. I'm literally asking Eze for her opinion on this.
I don't think.
Answer the
I don't
question.
think it can be. You already know there's no shame in my game.
I know.
I ask questions. Jews give Jews prizes. Does that answer you?
Okay, so
How relevant? Your question is so irrelevant.
You question Nobel Prize.
It's so irrelevant. If they win Nobel Peace Prizes, so what?
Let me ask you a question.
You don't have to listen to my question. You can always leave the room. Anybody could ask any questions they want. I have a
What's
question.
the Gretzky Nobel Prize?
Edward, you don't have to tell me that. Come on.
How many?
You're telling me my
What do you
question
mean leave the room? What do you mean leave the room?
You're telling me my question is irrelevant.
Then your question is irrelevant. Don't be sensitive.
You're
Don't be sensitive. Don't be sensitive.
You don't even know what I'm saying. You're irrelevant.
There's something to the volume of Jews receiving the Nobel Prize. There's something.
Midas!
There must be corruption. There's no fucking way 15 million of the entire world's population are receiving the majority.
There is a way.
Can I ask you a question? Wait, hold on.
25%.
How many black women, brilliant black women actresses, have ever received an Emmy or an Oscar? Whoever's playing the music gets to call the tune, right?
Yeah, makes sense.
It's not that there weren't any brilliant actresses. It's that there weren't.
That they're not white.
There we go.
They don't get good movies back. Listen to who gets the good movies.
These individuals are brilliant.
This second literally says black people don't make good movies.
No, they don't get rolling good movies. Not they don't.
Yes, they do.
You know what?
No, they always get the
They don't
bad
get
movies.
nominated.
No.
Here, I'll give you an example. Denzel Washington.
Yeah, Denzel
Denzel
Washington.
Washington is a brilliant actor.
Morgan Freeman. Are you kidding?
Yes. But you know
Yeah,
when he got an award?
Freeman. I don't remember.
You know when he got an award? When he played a drug dealing thug.
Exactly.
Yeah.
You know when Halle Berry received her award? When she played a whore.
Exactly.
Crackhead whore on her knees. That's what got her an Academy Award. Because that's where some people believe black men and women belong. And who are those individuals in those roles as producers and directors and the rest of it?
Well, what do you think?
Jewish white European Jews. White European Jews. Yes.
But can't we
No
admit,
more the producer.
can we also can we admit that
A
Jewish
European
people
Jew made the movie that resurrected the Klan. Make it make sense.
okay, but can we admit that also Jewish people are very smart when it comes to science research and
I think that's what I said from the get go. I never said that they were smarter than anybody else.
No, not you, Isaiah. I'm talking to Jindib. I mean, you could say that I don't know, like the culture of Jews, they emphasize education, but are they the only culture that emphasizes education?
yeah, but they're also very
There's called having money.
But when it comes to education, they're also very philanthropic, right? They invest a lot of money in education. A lot of money.
No, they don't.
Yes, they do.
No, I just think it's money. I just think it's money in general.
Hold on. Is it? Let me ask you a question. when you write the check and you don't need
No,
the photo.
you don't work hard either.
Wait, hold on. When you don't need the photo op. Philanthropy, according to Judaism, is when you give it in secret. But what happens when that philanthropy helps you hide? You gave away $2 million, but you made $50 billion. Is that still philanthropy?
That's good business.
This again. I go to the smart. I go to the smart part. Yes, they're pretty smart.
No, gender. Yeah,
I don't know what you guys are talking about. Just if you allow me just to talk for a minute. Thank you very much.
Go ahead.
Yeah, just allow me, please. Edward Khalil, don't get mad. I mean, you're my friend. When I said maybe I said it in the wrong way, that my tone was different. When I said how relevant.
No worries. I apologize.
Yeah, no problem. Yeah. The reason why I'm saying that, we have to be careful. Number one, I'm not here to
donate this.
No, okay, because I am not going to incriminate Jews, and at the same time, I'm not going to what's the opposite, applause them or any, and for them winning whatever does not matter at all. We have to know during the Enlightenment age and the Reformation, Enlightenment, the Industrial Revolution in Europe, where they were discovering everything, but at the same time, they were, exacting, administering injustice upon people, Africa, everywhere in the world, in a way that is so inhumane. It didn't matter, if they were smart or they were smart, yeah. Europeans were smart and Africans weren't smart, maybe, or that why. So what? I mean, if Europeans were very smart, yes, the Industrial Revolution. But at the same time, what they did, to this world, wreaked havoc everywhere, that's what matters. And the same thing is, I want to talk about their actions, Zionist, on Palestinians and others.
We are discussing in particular the Nobel prizes that they have over the years. We're talking about this very subject. We have to admit and say that they are smart.
I'm not going to admit,
They're dedicated to education and so on and so forth. We can't deny that.
I'm going to say, please. Let me just say this and then I'll stop. Hey, Jindib, Habibi, I don't give a shit about them if they're smart or not. What I care about the Zionists, what they're doing to my people. Okay? They're smart or they don't, they shove it up to whatever.
We're talking about totally two different things. We're talking about the Nobel Peace Prize.
The whole Nobel.
That's what we're just talking about. Now, we're just talking about two different things. Okay?
Well, here's why. Let me tell you why I brought this up.
You shouldn't say they're smart. They are not smart. No. They're like God creates all people the same. There are no people. All people are the same. No, they are not smart.
I'm not claiming that they are smarter than the average.
All people are the same. There are no.
When it comes to education, research, and so on and so forth, they're pretty good at it.
No, they're not better than Africans. They're not better than any people.
But that's the thing. That everybody else, pound for pound, for example, let's just take either India or China, right? The two most populous nations on the planet. There's more research and development and papers being written in those countries, but than pretty much any other country. But it goes under the radar. It doesn't get like published in the Western journals. Now, and the reason I brought this whole thing up, there's a reason. Neil deGrasse Tyson, I was watching a video from the other day. It was from back in 2009, 2010, when he said this. And he said on stage, he goes, and you know who he is, right? He's an astrophysicist. He's African American.
Oh no, who let this abnormal?
You guys know deGrasse Tyson, right?
He's actually Puerto Rican and black. He's mixed.
Okay, Puerto Rican bus. Okay. So he said, he goes, I lose sleep at night. 1 out of 4 Nobel Prize in Science winners are Jews. And Muslims, only about 3%, less than 3% of Nobel Prize winners are Muslims.
Danicus, the world's greatest artist is in the room. Hi, Danicus. How are you, Danicus? Have you done your part for Israel yet today? I am recording terrorists. We're submitting this video footage to the FBI, to the Department of Homeland Security. And we're going to have the doors kicked in and get them arrested. Think of it. Bye. Back to wherever the fuck you came from. Take care. We'll call you. Don't call us.
To the Muslim and the Islamic Empire, where most of our sciences are based off of, and the foundation of our sciences come from, for these Nobel Prizes. They've already proven that they can innovate, they can come up with new concepts, new ideas, and push the boundaries of science forward. They've already proven that, and they're not doing it now.
Okay, I'm going to give you that, but you know the Islamic world has not produced any new knowledge for the past, 500 years, 1,000 years?
What?
Yeah, what new knowledge did we come up with?
That's
Did
not
we,
true.
I mean, yes,
We
we came up with all those things that the modern world is built upon, but for the past 500 years, nothing came out.
Nothing came out.
United States did. What about the United States?
No, let's look at Gaza alone. Look at the scientists in Gaza alone, and see what they
The government of the United States, you know?
Gender is right to an extent, but the problem is it's not 500 years. That is not true. The story of Western ascendancy is not 500 years old, bro. What are you talking about? 500 years old, we were.
Not only that, but consider the wealth of information, the wealth of knowledge that the Muslim community has given us in general in terms of astrology, in terms of the calendar.
Astrology?
algorithms, mathematics.
All times, not in the modern history.
But it continues, it evolves. You're talking about
Muslims do not care about education.
Are you comparing
Muslims don't care about education.
Exactly. Islamic world doesn't care about
Who
this.
is this guy?
They care about the
I don't know. This guy is. He's also the same guy that said people in Gaza were living good before October 7th.
Better engage it and they say that Jews
No, it's two different people. Or not. It's
Oh no, that was 111. Sorry, this is.
Yeah, one. Have you checked the video?
Yeah, this is something else. This is something else.
Listen, guys, listen. This is very simple. Jewish people have been a minority in their whole history. The only way that they survive has been because they couldn't go to military, they couldn't go to government. The only way that they could survive was through education. So
That is bullshit. It's not true.
Wait.
This is the German talking, by the way. He's
No,
feeling
they
guilty.
value education. This
He's
is
feeling
different.
guilty. And I'm saying
All
he's all
Semitic people value education.
Get what your people did.
Give him the boy. Way back, you killed Jews.
Wait, now they are also highly networked. So when they see a talent, independent of where that talent is from, they connect to each other. They jump on that talent.
Yeah, they call them vultures.
And they just promote that talent. That talent doesn't get the Nobel Prize. The person who promotes the talent gets the Nobel Prize. This is a key thing for Nobel Prize. These people who get the Nobel Prize, they are not the one who did the work. Their students did the work. So when they see a talent and they are highly networked and they are highly value education,
So they con men.
you cannot call it a con man. They see the value. They don't care about the identity of the talent.
I want to say something.
I haven't landed my point. Islamic world, they only see where you're from, what your accent you have. Are you Shia? Are you Sunni?
That is not true. Go ahead, Prince. That is absolutely not that.
That is the
Okay, Jandip, brother, I do want to address something you said. Hold on, Wayfin, I know you're Islamophobic, so respectfully calm your tits down, stay in your fucking lane. Jandip, I'm going to read you the list of people the Muslims have invented within the past 500 years. You said we haven't invented anything. We can go over the list. It's a big list. I pulled it up on ChatGPT. Did you want me to read it out, Brother Jandip?
Listen, I understand that part, Amir, but we have not accumulated new knowledge within the new age, the new times that we live in. Okay?
That's what I'm telling you, the new stuff. I have the new stuff for you.
We exchange information, and so we learn about new information, but we have not produced new knowledge to the world.
Okay, let's go over the list. So we got the medicine and biology, a pioneer work in malaria treatment. Dr. Hakim Muhammad Said, Pakistan was a key figure in reviving traditional medicine.
Okay.
The second one, artificial limb advancements, neuroscience contributions. We have the GSM cellular technology in Egyptian American, data compression algorithms. Nasser Ahmed, Indian American, space and aviation, first Muslim in space. His name was Prince Sultan bin Salman Al Saud, Saudi Arabia, flew aboard the space shuttle Discovery in 1985. NASA contributors.
Tell them who.
We got a skyscraper and sustainable architecture.
Amir,
Yeah, tell them
Yes.
how they got to
I think I know what
transistor.
Amir, I'm not talking about that. I'm talking about this is all piggybacking on the knowledge that has been created over the past 100, 150 years.
Yeah, but that's normal.
When you say someone flew on a space shuttle, they flew on a NASA vehicle or on a.
Just a minute.
Okay?
Can we define what a PhD is? Jindip, aren't there millions of not Palestinians, Muslims in the world that have PhDs?
Yes, of course they are.
Okay. So
We are very highly educated. I understand.
Okay, so to receive a PhD, you must add to the body of knowledge of that field. That's the only way you can receive a PhD. Not by taking courses. You have to literally write a thesis paper that usually is hundreds of pages long, and it must add to the body of knowledge. Period. So you can't say that Muslims have it. I mean, they have to.
One second. I know what the problem is. Jindip is right on one aspect, and I think that's what he means, but he didn't elaborate. We are not producing new knowledge stemming from Muslim majority countries. But Muslims, if given the right environment, do flourish for sure.
I absolutely agree with you. Yes.
In Japan. Yeah, so the issue is these countries, I understand. And thankfully that is changing in a lot of Muslim majority countries, and there are developments. So
If that's what you mentioned, I totally agree with you. That because there's more of a focus on religion, that there's less of a focus on science.
No, it's oppression versus.
there are a lot of things.
Because the way the West has just destroyed these countries.
Organizations. There are many factors.
Well, oppression is inverse to.
Wow.
Be that as it may, there's no way anybody is going to convince me that 15 million people and 7 to 8 billion people are receiving the biggest chunk of Nobel Prizes. There is
25%. I mean, statistically, it's impossible.
There is no fucking way that is possible. No fucking way.
No, it's impossible. It's impossible. Statistically, it would be impossible.
It's illogical. It's illogical. It doesn't make any sense. It's unreasonable.
There was a
thing is a Western thing, is a Western creation, it's a Western organization, it's a Western thing, right? Okay, so
yeah.
I know why you're surprised with this stuff. I'm not sure.
It's not surprising.
I'm not surprised, but it is important for people to understand that such things, including IQ tests, are made by a certain group of people for certain environments.
Yeah, the ITs.
For instance, yes, for the IQ, it doesn't necessarily measure things.
That's like pseudoscience. Yeah, you're right, Prince. It doesn't. You can't. I mean, you can't take the same IQ test. I could take an IQ test and then give it to somebody in I don't know, Morocco or Yemen, and they would fail that IQ test. Why? Because they don't have the same body of knowledge that I have. And if I take, so IQ, and we don't even understand, and we don't even have a standard for IQ tests. And I don't know if you guys seen, how that there was supposedly Ashkenazi Jews have higher IQs per average IQs, which is insane because you can't standardize IQs over given two different human beings. You can't even standardize an IQ because people's brains are unique and they're different. Everybody
I
thinks
would have
differently.
thought it was Ashkenazi Jews, honestly. I would have thought it would have been an Asian country like the Japanese or the South Koreans or something.
Wednesday, don't
I don't believe in it. I'm just saying it just doesn't sound right. It sounds like that's their.
He draws Muhammad.
I love him.
Okay, that's good. So you're the chillest Muslim I've ever met.
System, in terms of in their society where manufacturing, electronics, computational power, this type of thing is important. That's not IQ. IQ is you could take somebody, put them out in the wilderness, without any knowledge, and they can problem solve. And I'm just making this up. They could problem solve and come up with a solution to keep themselves alive, or to get water, to get food. And you could take, so what this IQ test from Ashkenazis are smarter than other people. Ashkenazi Jews, number one, are from different cultures and societies anyways. So it's not standardized to begin with. You can't even say that. You can't, say that Japanese people are smarter because they produce more.
Let me give you this information. It's important information. It is the transistor. The transistor is the main thing that's for computers, everything.
What invented the transistor?
Yeah, the transistor. Who got the Nobel Prize for?
Why don't you tell us? We don't know.
Yeah.
Sharkfish.
There is two guys working for Bell Labs in 1947, John Bardeen and Walter Bratian, or whatever, physicists, okay? But who created before that? The guy called Muhammad Atallah, an Egyptian-American engineer and physicist who made groundbreaking contributions to semiconductors technology, a foundation of modern transistors. Key factor that Dr. Atallah, 1924 to 2009. What happened? He got this basic of the transistors. Then after that, those guys, they got the Nobel Prize. And he's American. You got the point here? That's why you don't see Muslims famous getting this kind of prize unless there is somebody agreed to give him this fucking prize. Even if he's signed.
One. Where's this Muslim guy? What happened to his career? I'm really curious. I love this story. Where is he?
Yeah, this is from Deep Seek.
Like his originality, probably based on the name, is one of the Arab countries somewhere in Middle East. So now, question: why he didn't get any position, anything?
Wait, Ben. Do you have a problem with Arabs or Muslims?
Yes. Why scientists don't get position?
What's the problem with Muslims? Wait, let me just speak.
His name is Muhammad. and they created the fucking phone you are talking from.
So why Egyptian government didn't give him any position?
Because
Wait,
the government killing all the Egyptian scientists. You
So he was killed? He was killed?
Wait, Ben.
You know, just a minute. Who destroyed the
You're letting him get mad at you because it's
scientists
wrong.
and the future?
No, I didn't get it. Was
You don't even have to. You don't even have to go that far. Just go to Iraq invasion. Admittedly, and even the CIA.
Oh yeah, that sucks. Yeah.
They kill Turkish scientists. They kill Iraqi scientists. They kill Syrian scientists.
Let's hear Prince was speaking. Let him land.
No, that's my point. I mean, it's well established fact that the Mossad went into Iraq and assassinated hundreds of Iraqi scientists.
Yeah, it's a common practice, standardized.
And when the Egyptians were building a nuclear facility in Egypt, they did the exact same thing.
But my point is this: the governments, like for example, in Taiwan.
Okay, can I speak now? Thank you.
I think my message came wrong.
No, your message I couldn't. Do you have a problem with Muslims?
I have a problem with Muslim government. They do like people who are
I'm asking you a question. Do you have a problem with Islam?
With governments of Islamic countries. They don't.
So do you have a problem?
This guy does not sound German. He sounds.
He is
No, they don't put people who are educated in power.
Do you have a problem with Americans?
From Taiwan.
Wait.
He's from Taiwan.
I said I live in Taiwan. I just want to tell you their success story. I want to tell you their success story so we can learn and Muslim how they become this successful.
Are you Muslim?
They have a
Are you Muslim?
Yes, I just want to tell you how these people become.
If you're Muslim, say the Shahada.
No, he's not
Ashhadu an la ilaha illallah, ashhadu anna Muhammadan Rasulullah, ashhadu anna Aliyan waliyullah. How do you want to go?
Why you don't love Muslims then?
Muslim
Let's hear what he has to say. Let him land.
Okay, government, not Muslim governments.
Exactly, fuck them. That's my problem. In Taiwan, they had one.
Oh no, I feel like you've been messing with some men.
Wait, they have one scientist.
I just said the Shahada. Go ahead.
They have one scientist. He was in like TI. One scientist. They brought him back in 70s. They gave him everything they could. They forced people of Taiwan to give their money to him. To make TSMC, right now TSMC is the only semiconductor manufacturer in the world. In Islamic countries, governments see a scientist, they just want to abuse it. They want to take as much as they can from him and just throw him away. That's the attitude of Islamic governments. That is what I'm saying is the problem.
I think that is changing now, though. I mean, that has been an issue. It still is. I think it is changing. And in the West Bank, Palestinians built the first VLS laboratory in Rawabi, in the West Bank, and that's being done under occupation. So they are looking to build these semiconductor. Amir, can you mute Prince? I think he has this in his pocket. The Palestinians are in the next year or two looking to build an actual semiconductor factory or manufacturing plant in the West Bank, which is a huge achievement for any country, especially for people that don't even have a country and are living under occupation. So I think we have learned from Taiwan and from Asian nations. Ironically, the West hasn't learned from the Asian nations because we don't, when it comes to manufacturing here in the U.S., we don't know how to manufacture 99% of the goods that we use ourselves. Even if you give money, if you gave money to the U.S., we still wouldn't be able to build manufacturing plants, or we could build them, but we wouldn't know how to run them. So I think people are learning from Taiwan and China, South Korea and Japan, Thailand, Vietnam even.
The challenge of the West is that it's forgetting. Like right now, this Trump, like look at his cabinet. Just all of them are jokes. None of them are educated. This is the only cabinet in the history that everybody knows the name of their members, because they're just like a bunch of clowns. It was not like this.
I definitely agree with that.
It was not like this. In the West, they used to value education. It's
I think it started going down in the 70s, to be honest with you.
It's with the TVs. It became with the TVs, and Reagan and then Bush and Clinton, whoever has the white teeth, whoever has I don't know. This now we are here.
Trump wants to bring manufacturing back to the U.S. The problem is manufacturing is a science. It's a very advanced, very intricate science that depends on multiple systems to be engineered and work together. And that's the principle he's not understanding. You can't just set up manufacturing plants in the U.S. if you don't know how to manufacture. And
do you think the U.S. would fail at manufacturing things?
Yes, because you need experience.
So the past 100 years, about 90% of technologies at your fingertips and everything you use came from the U.S. and from research at university in the U.S.
Research and manufacturing are two different things. Manufacturing, you need experience. You need experienced.
And aren't American companies set up shop in those other countries for tax purposes and cheap labor and so on and so forth?
They don't run the company. They're not the ones in charge.
I don't see America would fail at manufacturing or coming up with
any country would fail at manufacturing.
Innovative ways to manufacture things. I don't see that. I just don't see it.
Show me where America has experience.
Where America has experience in terms of innovation and industrial technology.
No, you're mixing up two different things. Manufacturing, and then there's research and development or innovation. Innovation is one thing. We have innovation.
Okay.
But when it comes to manufacturing,
so if they are the ones who come up with the idea of new innovations, do you think they're going to fail at manufacturing it?
Yes.
Why? Why would they fail?
I'll tell you. Manufacturing is a whole different science. You could come up with the innovation, but the innovation, coming up with let's say a new technology, a new type of product, that doesn't mean that you know how to manufacture it.
Why? If it's your own invention, your own product, your own product, how will you know how to manufacture it?
Edward, can I respond to Jinder?
Good.
Okay, Jinder, it works like this. Edward is right. Researching and inventing something is totally different from manufacturing. I'll try to grab a video of Tim Cook speaking about it. Okay, what he says is that Trump has been pushing Tim Cook personally to bring back Apple manufacturing to the U.S. And what Tim Cook said was, if we have to bring back even 10% of what we manufacture in China, it will take me 3 years and $30 million.
Okay.
And even after that, let me complete. Even
it
after
takes time and money. He didn't say that we can't do it.
No. And he told the reason. And even then, even for the 10% of that manufacturing to be moved to the US, I am not sure if we will succeed, because we don't have the skill levels that are required to manufacture what we do in China.
Okay.
And he gave a very good example of one particular manufacturing tool, a manufacturing skill. He said I think it's called soldering. He said there's a typical type of soldering that we do in for our phones, for manufacturing our phones. In the US, if I had to search for one skilled solder, then I will probably find 10 all over the country. Whereas in China, within the region where we have the factory, within a day I will be able to find 1,000 solders.
Right. So it would take.
So he said it's going to take a lot of time scaling those products. Now, let me give you one more quick example. You know this shoe company called New Balance, okay? They if you look at their products, they will proudly announce, even Skechers, for example. Skechers and New Balance are the only two shoe companies in the world, sports shoe factories in the US companies, which manufacture in the US. But if you really look at what is the percentage of the total production that they do in the US, you will be surprised to know that it's less than 5%. So they say that, number one, we don't have the skilled employees that we need to manufacture more in the US, number one. Number two, of course, is the cost. They say if we had to manufacture everything in the US, then we will end up, we'll have to increase our cost by 3 to 4 times the price of the shoe that we are selling at today. So these are the two reasons. So there is room. Maybe if the US starts today, in the next after 10 years, after a decade, they will probably be able to manufacture 10% of what they are manufacturing today overseas.
Okay, so it's not a lack of, it's just a lack of skills. Maybe not enough money is invested in developing those skills. Maybe the labor pool is expensive. Maybe the tax system is shit.
And experience. You need to have the experience of running a plant.
Again, all it needs is time and investment and money. It does not.
Yeah, well, I'm not saying it's not possible.
Right. It does not mean that America does not have the infrastructure to not be able to manufacture anything.
For now, though.
Hold on, can I? No, I agree with Jinnen. That what they did was they took these skills out of like public school education, right? They used to have like welding. They used to have technology. They used to have like home economics. We could learn how to cook or learn how to sew, and even like once you got to high school, you even learn how to be a mechanic, right? And then also they took these technical schools out. They kept on pushing kids, especially in the middle 90s. Late 90s, early 2000s, just go to four-year college instead of going to like one of these schools for plumbing or HVAC and stuff like that. So that's why we don't have these skilled workers, because they kept on telling young kids, don't go to these schools, go to a regular school, regular college, and you make this money. These kids don't know. There's no skills like that. All the skilled workers who knows how to do HVAC, who know how to do elevator.
Because there was a much cheaper alternative. Yes, I agree with you. There was a much cheaper alternative. Yes, I mean,
on top of that, they wanted kids to go to regular college so they can get a loan and make debts,
There is a really bigger factor here that you have to be very careful about. In Asia, people have loyalty. When they start in a job, they don't change job. In the West, there's no
that's why you live in Asia. So stay in Asia.
No, I haven't found a job. The thing is that...
So what the fuck are you telling us? You haven't found a job, you're telling us people who work about wanting to do a job?
No, when you are in advanced manufacturing, you need a skill, and a skill you build over time.
So, why don't you learn how to
people change job all the time.
Tell him something important. Those countries, Arab countries and Muslim countries, back in the 40s, 50s, 60s, they have even the best scientists in that region. They send them to get their education abroad. But after 1948, after this fucking country called Israel came to the region, they start to hunt those scientists. They go behind them in America and United States, in England and everywhere, and hunt them, kill them. If they haven't touched them, we could have nuclear power, we could have supersonic planes, everything. The countries couldn't protect those scientists. Until now, even in Iran, they killed the scientists. In Iraqi scientists, they are motherfuckers. They kill all the beautiful life.
Can I make a quick point because
They trash them. I totally with you. They trash them. They go them in the West. They find the Muslim scientists. They did this to me personally. They trash.
Yeah, so we cannot blame the government. We have to blame
Can we let him speak without fucking making it derogatory? Can you just stop relating him?
Excuse me?
Can you just let him speak? You guys just like keep running over your mouth over him. And he's like, he coming from another perspective. Why aren't you open to another perspective? Wait then.
Well, let him able to speak.
And I give him back his idea. I answer.
Well, can I just bring this back to what I was saying, and just to make my point clear when it comes to manufacturing? As someone who has a degree in supply chain management, I cannot set up an assembly line. So it's not just the skilled workers here. To set up an assembly line, to design an assembly line to make a specific product, there are thousands of variables that go into making a product, even something simple. And so this is what we are missing here in the U.S. No matter how much money we bring in, we don't have the experienced manufacturing engineers, those that have actually worked in the field, because the field isn't here in the U.S. So we would have to import, not only do we need the money and the infrastructure to build the factories, but we would have to literally import the Chinese and the Taiwanese and the Vietnamese to be able to run the factories for the next 5 or 10 years to show us how to do it. That was my whole point.
Yeah, Edward, I want to add to that, and I also want to add, I gave 2 examples. Jindip, if you are listening, I gave 2 examples in the 2 extreme. One was high-tech iPhone manufacturing in China, why it's difficult to do it in the US. And the other one, on the other side of the technology, which is just basic sports shoe manufacturing. Both of them are impossible to be recreated in the US in the immediate future. Okay, so there's only one thing I appreciate Trump about, which is his push for manufacturing, but he's doing it in the wrong way. Okay, that's another matter. I'll tell you where the US can actually focus and bring back manufacturing into the US. Take, for example, pharma companies. You need high skill level, high technology, high research, a good scientist for that. You don't need a lot of people to manufacture medicines, to manufacture antibiotics, for example. US pushed out all its pharma companies just for profit. They don't, they cost a bomb in the US now. You can't buy a medicine without insurance. That's the situation. That is in spite of these medicines being produced in third world countries. Why? Because the profit margins are so high, and in most of the times, like Jindip said, these medicines were invented by the US scientists or any of the Western scientists. They have discovered or invented them. Okay, but yet they end up paying so much to buy those medicines. That's because it's these people who are the people who own these companies in the US who make money out of it. It's the Wall Street that makes money out of it.
Do you know who they are?
Sorry?
Mostly who they are, who own those companies?
Zionist.
Oh yeah, I don't want to go into that. They're all big corporations who own into the company. Yes. No, I don't want to. No. That's what I said. I don't want to.
Yeah, you have to say.
Why don't you buy it?
We all know.
This is where we started like incongruency if we're not saying how it is.
Well, we all know this, though. I mean, why keep saying that,
You don't understand.
He said they look for money, and that's it. There is no any manner or any kind of research or a deep research something like that. It's just for money. And even they fake this is fucking medicine.
Faiz, I do have a...
Triple one. No, let me just conclude. Triple one. I believe the whole of America is controlled by Zionists. I don't have to say it again and again when I'm talking sub-subjects. You get my point?
Why?
So I don't have to say it.
No, it's because we understand. We all know. Like, we all know.
I think that this is a problem, big problem.
No, but we keep...
You don't know me. Triple one, you don't know me. You haven't heard me enough on this app to make a judgment.
I understand, but
you don't understand.
But if you
want to mention it, something like that.
No, it's because you know, if we keep saying it, we all know this, and then what happens is the conversation becomes a loop, and it just keeps looping back and forth. You know, it just loops on its on itself and stuff moving forward.
See, when I believe the whole of U.S. is controlled by Zionists, and every institution, every bank, every large company is controlled by Zionists.
No,
and you don't have to repeat it. Everybody knows it, okay? But when I keep mentioning it again and again, somebody will come and say, oh, why are you dragging Jews? Because many people will equate that to mean Jews, okay? So I don't want to divert our conversation. Our conversation at this point in time is about manufacturing. Why US cannot manufacture in US? That's all it is.
Yes. Can I give a quick fun fact to Faiz? Actually, I think you'll find this interesting, Faiz, because I know India went to the moon. You know, they had probes. They sent probes to the moon about 15 years ago now. So the US, you know, landed on the moon. Apollo mission. The Apollo mission landed on the moon. Today, if we wanted to go to the moon and land on the moon, we would have to reinvent that technology because we lost that technology because we lost the experience of how to make those engines for those rockets to be able to land on the moon. Because the engineers and the manufacturer work together, and they, you know, and we're able to fix the issues in manufacturing, you know, vibrations in the engines and the parts, you know, in real time, and they work together. And that knowledge they did not write down. They did not record it. Hold on, let me land. So they didn't record that knowledge. Because they didn't record it, they have the blueprints of the engines, but the blueprints do not represent the actual engines that were used. So they would have to literally go back and reinvent that technology and do testing and, you know, research, development, testing, everything from the beginning, just to be able to go back to the moon again. So that's a parallel example.
Do you believe that they've been in the moon?
They what?
This is...
No, they never landed on the moon. It was just a mirage.
Yeah, and the Earth is flat.
Yeah.
The Earth is flat.
Yeah, the Earth is flat. What else was it? They didn't land on the moon.
Oh my God. You believe that they've been in the moon? And that's why...
No, I don't.
No, we do.
I wanted to make sure they land. I went to the moon and I checked that there was no one there and I came back.
That is a genitive answer right there.
Yeah, Elon Musk, he has the technology. Why he cannot go to the moon?
Elon Musk doesn't have the technology to go to the moon.
He keeps killing people in his...
He does not.
Why? He has the rockets.
People in his states. He's tried several times, and there's a lot of fucking death that have been happening from there.
Well, but the rockets that he has are made to go into geosynchronous orbit around the Earth, not to the moon. He does not have the technology to go to...
Hold on, because I thought you guys moved on. I did put it in ChatGPT, and they say they don't have all the... because we went past that. It says, no, the United States government did not exactly lose the information or technology to go to the moon, but much of the original hardware, technical blueprint, and production know-how from the Apollo program 1960 to 70 were retired, dismantled, or archived after the last mission, Apollo 17 in 1972. So we just thinking about other things. It's not we can't go to the moon.
We can't go to the moon because the engineers are no longer alive that built those engines. We can't.
We can't go to the moon. We
cannot. We cannot. And NASA said this themselves. We cannot go to the moon. Not unless we reinvent. We have the blueprints, but we have to actually build those engines.
Why haven't we gone back to the moon until now? For decades, the focus shifted to low Earth orbit missions, like the space shuttle.
Okay, never mind. Listen, you don't understand what I'm saying. Yeah, we already know we didn't go to the moon.
No. There is something called Von Allen Belt. Von, I will write it here. Von Allen.
I think I've had enough of your
No, make sure the name just come to the point, 111.
So did we or did we not go to the moon?
And put this
He says no.
I put it in the chat.
We went to the fucking moon, bro. Stop it. And if he starts saying the Earth is flat, I'm out.
I think it's probable we.
Wait, Wednesday, you don't know the Earth is flat?
The Earth is not flat.
Yes, it is, Wednesday.
It's not flat.
Wednesday, look it up on TV right now.
And in the Quran, it says it's shaped like an ostrich.
We try to be more.
Y'all are hilarious.
Okay, can we be intelligent with them? Yeah, it is written there. Von Allen Belt. Put it in ChatGPT. Tell him what is this.
I don't want it. I'm done. Your brain is too much.
Somebody else can write it.
I'm gonna bring it.
No, you're not gonna find anybody that's gonna say that we have not gone to the moon.
I say we have not gone to the moon. We have not.
Okay, you got one person that says that we haven't gone to the moon. One person.
Authority on the moon.
No, Muhammad said that we have not gone to the moon. No, I said the Earth is flat.
I mean, Edward, have you seen it? Sorry.
That wasn't funny. That was dumb.
Sorry.
But no.
Can you just make something intelligent? Go on.
But how are you going to say intelligent when you're talking about we haven't gone to the moon? You know, that's one thing.
Possible. That's a possibility.
Take this.
You're the Palestinian brother. How could you say this about your Palestinian brother?
No. I just don't.
He's a Palestinian brother. How could you guys demean him like that?
I highly suspect, I highly doubt and suspect that 111 has any Palestinian. I don't know. I don't want to go. I don't want to go really hard.
The Palestinian passports.
Okay, I'm sorry, but are you sure about that?
Yeah, and Gazans were living good before.
Okay, I'm gonna be upfront. And you have not been drilled in your lifetime.
I'm going to right now. I am a Palestinian from Gaza, and I have a passport too. Prove me wrong.
Yeah, I believe you because you have Cynic's accent.
Okay,
the poet.
I graduated astronomy. Just
wait. Now I have to say something
about anything.
How?
Astronomy?
Yes. And he says we didn't go to the moon. Astronomy. And we didn't go to the moon. Oh, come on.
Could it be gastronomy?
Astronomy or you don't
Wait, who doesn't believe we went to the moon?
Him, 111.
Yes.
Me too.
Yes.
And Muhammad.
If you give me time, that's a big deal.
I was gonna say Edward, but if you believe we didn't go to the moon, I don't.
No, I said the Earth is flat. If we didn't go to the moon, then the Earth is flat.
The two are not necessarily connected.
It's not like that. I can explain to you if you give me time.
No.
Look, guys, yes, I'm the mod, and I didn't say no. No to that.
What about Amir?
These Palestinians they're meeting their own Palestinian brother. Amir is from God.
I knew Amir was going to do this. I knew he was going to do this.
Just give me time. You have to.
No, listen. We're not going to go. Listen, you're Ludwig out of the Middle East. We don't need this.
No, you cannot.
Oh my God.
know if he believes that we went to the moon or not. I don't know.
Okay, who's the first stepped in the moon?
Triple one. Let me give you some.
My cousin Sulaiman.
You start a room on the topic. Whoever is interested can go into that room.
Yeah. Just started a topic, room topic saying U.S. never went to the moon, and I guarantee you 90% of the people that are going to be in there, that 90% are going to be flat earthers, and 10% are going to be crypto bros. I'm sorry.
No.
He's into investing.
People want the COVID virus vaccine.
Oh my God.
What do you think about the vaccine, Triple One?
I haven't taken this.
Triple One. There's a film that you should watch. It's called Hidden Figures. You might enjoy it.
You really think that I'm really faking the news or the information, right?
Yes.
No, we think you believe it.
No. At this moment, I think Edward is part of the Illuminati.
Oh my God, this is insane. We know you believe this, Triple One. What's 111?
And Antarctica is also, there's a wall there, right? There's no South Pole, right?
Yeah, we're in a prison, and over the wall is another different continents.
Right.
There's more continents than sevens more.
So you believe?
And those 5G networks are freaking crazy. They go into your mind, right?
So you believe that?
Explain to me why we have.
Is 111? Does 111 stand for 7?
No.
But Edward, explain to me why do we have so many fake videos in space and on the moon and stuff like that? Why do we have so many NASA fake videos?
Oh my God, you do believe it's fake, huh?
It's a possibility. I hope.
Oh my God! You both say that.
I know why this guy thinks what he thinks. There's a video of the guy that went to the moon. There's a journalist guy who said, "Put your hand on the Bible and swear you went to the moon."
Yeah, nobody can swear.
And he won't do it. The guy refuses.
That's one reason.
I think too many videos because the guy thought about it and
my reason is I've seen too many videos where they were showing people is supposedly in space and it was fake. You see the green screen behind it and something goes wrong.
They didn't have green screen back then.
I don't believe you. There's plenty of fake videos.
They did not have green screen.
We had AI back then, so I think we had AI back then, so I think they had green screens back then.
So you cannot argue with conspiracy theorists. You can't. They will always find something to make
is
up.
really talented when it comes to poetic writings.
But that has nothing to do with conspiracy theories. I'm not a conspiracy theorist, but I do all this as possible.
You're starting to say things that are not factual.
Yeah, see, that's highly improbable. That's very questionable to me. We have plenty of fake videos, like stuff, strings, and people on strings.
One can go to their own room and talk about this. Thank you.
Why? Why are you scared to talk about the truth?
We're not scared.
It is. Is the ceasefire happening and not happening? Is there any updates to the ceasefire?
I'll check.
Let's talk about the ceasefire.
Yes. Ceasefire. Hopefully soon.
Just running away from the moon landing.
You know you don't believe this.
There's so many reasons why it would be there's so many motivations why it could be fake and reasons.
They brought back moon rocks, and the moon rocks have been studied in laboratories all over the world.
Could have been drones.
It could just be like a meteor.
Drones?
Could be drones or could be meteorites. That's 2 points.
No.
Teddy, you too? I think you should get together with my nemesis. His name is Ludwig. He hates my guts, but he'll be buddy with you.
It's cool, man. I think it's cool.
Yes, I think you should come to a room and maybe people jump in. Even Dean, I think some of the things. Dean.
Let me ask one question, okay? Please.
No. Well, I'm about to tell you.
Just wait.
Just one question. Go on. Please allow we allow Palestinian voices. Go on.
There's an interpretation.
Let me ask this question. Who was the first guy in the moon?
Mr. Booty Clapper.
I told you my cousins.
You saw his video when he just jumped to the.
My cousin Hamidan.
Why is Booty Clapper?
Jinder's cousin went to the moon, okay?
No, when he jumped to the ground.
If they had AI, they were twerking at that time.
I seen a Mickey Mouse on going to the moon. Have you guys seen a Mickey Mouse?
I saw that too. Yeah.
Yeah, I watched it when I was in Saudi Arabia.
So
Deep down really believes in that.
Yes, finish the question.
No, go ahead.
I have one.
That guy, everybody saw that jump from the spaceship to the moon, right? Everybody saw that video.
What about it?
I wasn't born at that time, but I've seen it.
Yeah, I've seen it.
Me too. I wasn't born, but who took that video?
Who took that video? You're right. That's very problematic. It was Edward. Edward, did you take that video, brother?
Going back into the rocket and pretending to come out for
That's
the
right.
Okay.
Why was the flag waving?
They had cameras. They had cameras. They had a doom buggy thing that they used. How they took the picture?
1963, this technology. Remember?
They did have that, yeah.
So, but
1963.
yes, they had remote controls for TVs back then too.
We went to the moon, but AI was
But the waving flag, physicists will tell you that's what it would do. That's the vibrations when they set the flag down into the ground, and the vibrations traveled up, and because the gravity is so much less on the moon, the vibrations themselves are translate to larger waves.
Does 111 live in America? You live in America, right?
No, Canada.
Okay.
Are you trying to say something stupid?
You can drive down to a Smithsonian, aerospace museum in America.
What date was the moon landing?
Small capsule, and there is a.
Can we go back to this? I have
Which is older, AI or the moon landing?
BBC says Hamas officially says it rejects new U.S. Gaza ceasefire plan backed by Israel.
Good.
This came out an hour ago.
An hour ago?
1 hour. A senior Hamas official has told the BBC the Palestinian armed group will reject the latest U.S. proposal for a new Gaza ceasefire and hostage release deal.
Oh, I said that about 3 hours ago.
That's from the BBC. Let me see where else.
Yeah, they understood it's fake.
I think the reason is because Israel will still be able to basically perform operations or something 12 hours a day or something like that for over a period of time.
Yeah, and that's the latest. So I think BBC was able to get the story first.
Let's see. If there are changes in the agreement, we don't know exactly. We have the leak of the agreement, but we don't know, if that's the actual full agreement or not. So let's see if they come back and modify it again, because they modified it 3 days ago. So they may modify it again.
You can check it on Al Jazeera. They always give the.
Anyways, Wednesday, have a good night. Gentlemen, have a good night. And
you as well.
Oh my God, the moon landing is. The AI is actually older.
1950s.
1950s.
Watch the video I put in the chat.
I'm gonna just like leave, and when I come back, I hope this subject is done.
You got it, Wednesday. AI is older than
No, I never said it wasn't. I'm just saying I'm gonna leave, and I'm gonna come back, and I hope you guys have changed.
What?
The subject. I don't know for what we're here for.
Oh my God, you are Americans, guys? That's right.
You're Canadian.
Yeah.
You like
American. That's why you believe in that.
Do you like
American
roots?
dream.
Do you like
America
roots?
is now running away from United States.
Oh yeah, we're all going to Canada, yeah.
They are coming here first.
I don't think we are, but okay.
They are. You're going to have.
No, you guys are gonna be our 51st state.
I don't know if you guys heard about it. I talked about this earlier. Israel approved 22 settlements. It's like the biggest expansion of West Bank settlements in decades.
Yeah, and
it's very disturbing. And I think which country was it? Was it the UN or no? I think it was the UK or something. They came out. They started accusing Israel of now thanks to this settlement, they do not want to they don't want to get out of West Bank. They want to grow and and just get bigger and bigger in the West Bank and just pretty much take over all of it. Lebanon leader urges U.S. to pressure Israel to withdraw troops. We want Israel out yesterday, not tomorrow. Hundreds of people are starving. Hundreds of starving Palestinians from Gaza food warehouse in deadly incident, says UN agency. Chaos erupts on first day of U.S.-backed aid distribution in Gaza after weeks of hunger. Iran says it's ready to compromise with Trump, suggests U.S. understands its red lines. What else do we have? Oh yeah, American charged with a plot to throw Molotov cocktails at U.S. Embassy office in Israel. And this was a pretty big one, right? So this is coming from a hostage. That was a hostage under Hamas. Every time I was sure this was the end, former IDF hostage in Gaza says one of her biggest fear was Israeli strikes. And they're actually scared of the Israeli strikes versus Hamas, kicking them or punching them or whatever. Let's see what happens. Sanctions on Syria after Trump pledge. He's removing the sanctions on Syria, so Syria will get back in line. Hopefully.
They already opened, I think, the embassy in Damascus, the American embassy, today, this morning. They already put the flag back with the foreign ministry and American diplomat. That's the next.
What happened on 7th of October? I know there's a lot of things that are questionable, right? But do you agree to what took place on 7th of October?
What is what?
Do you agree to what happened on 7th of October?
You mean I support or not support?
Yeah.
No, it's a stupid move. For me, it's a stupid fucking move. He could just, this Anwar, be patient and deal with a smart way, a foxy way, not just to go and attack, and you saw the camera recording him and his wife and 2 sons running, hiding somewhere 6th of October. You saw that?
No, I missed out. I didn't pay attention to his family.
Yeah, I think the fucking Israelis, they just hunt this footage and they put it in the media to say that how much his wife bag expensive.
Oh yeah, they did. They talked about the bag.
For us as a Palestinians, we don't say that. We say how much he's coward to take and hide his wife and two kids while the others are suffering in the ground. If you are Palestinians, you will think like that. We don't need to hide your wife, but while you just put the rest in the front of the Israeli guns. That's what is running since that fucking day and now. He's a hero? Okay, you got what you want, you became a hero, okay. What about the rest? My families, the other families, in Shijaiya and Jabalia, all of them just, we can't contact them anymore. Because of what? You want to show that you are a fucking hero. Okay? Thank you. What next? You understand what I meant?
Yeah, I hear you, but but the thing is, I don't think he was trying to hide anybody. Because if you look at...
He was running in 6th of October. The camera shows the 6th of October, one day before. And with only his wife and two kids. He's hiding them. Some Palestinians, they said, oh, because he's a big banana guy and he has to hide his wife and because they're going to kill them. Yeah, but they killed the whole fucking Gazans. They are not just killing your wife and you and your brother. Even this Hania, he's really a poor guy. He's he's the head of Hamas and he ran with his family out of Gaza. And this Mishal, he ran out of Gaza like almost 6 months with his family. Why? Because this Sinwar, he wants to control everything himself. He doesn't want anyone to share his opinion. So they left everything and they went to Qatar. That's what I got to know. Then he controlled with the other guy, what's his name, Taif, to make this move, this action, without any kind of fucking Israelis. They are criminals. They will not leave you. Even they've been giving you a trap. This is a trap. That was a trap. They just waited for him to make this act or move. And he did it. Until now, we cannot finish it. And what is the mean to go and take a bunch of prisoners or hostage from somewhere to ask for another prisoners to go out? That means you are not doing this for Palestinians. They are not doing for Palestine or free Palestine. You are doing only to get some people out of the prison. Then you give those hostages. This is your goal? Something wrong here. They are not going to open the airport for you in Gaza. They are not going to take all these sanctions around you because they are afraid of you. No.
That comedy guy is still streaming your room. That's him in the bottom.
But I can't kick it up.
I think we should write on Clubhouse. His unemployment money. He was really upset about that day not getting his unemployment.
Anyway, you asked me a question and I answered to you. It really helped. Everybody has agreed with me that it's been a trap. That 7th of October been a trap. And everybody understand that, or everyone understood this kind of a trap, endless. Until now, you see, they are just negotiating and who give the prisoners, who's taking the hostages, and those stories, endless. Who's suffering? The civilians, kids, normal people is just suffering. They are dying every day. Why at the end? For example, if you keep the hostages or give them back, you are done. You are dead person anyway, because they ask to gain guarantee from Trump that if they leave Gaza, the Mossad will not follow them where they are going to kill them. Motherfuckers. You already caused your fucking killed most of the Gazans, and you don't want to die? Oh, then don't give up. Keep the war, keep fighting until you die where you are. Like Sinwar died where he was. Okay, keep fighting, because at the end you will die anyway. So keep fighting in your fucking room, in there in the tunnel. Keep fighting. That's what I hope, because at the end it is going to finish anyway. You want to say something? Say it.
Something.
Okay. You wanna save leave? You wanna save leave?
No, I don't want to say you leave.
Those assholes.
You said you want to say something, so I did. You said you want to say something, say something, so I did something.
No, you opened your mic, so you want to say something. So they want to guarantee their life. They are afraid from death. Oh my God. That's why you can imagine that those people, they are not Hamas. Maybe they are kind of idiots. Something going on wrong here in Gaza, and it doesn't want to end, and they don't want to end it. At the same time, they are asking for safe, way to leave Gaza and keep their safe in a safe place outside Gaza. What do you think, Amir? What do you think about this?
I don't know. We're going to have to see what happens with the ceasefire, and then after the ceasefire, we'll just have to see, inshallah. I hope it, something works out with that permanent ceasefire, and then hopefully they can maybe, start doing some sort of reconstruction and come to a final, full and final ceasefire. No more killing.
Yeah, but Gaza is gone. Gaza is gone anyway. The land is gone. They will not give it to Gaza anymore. They will not give it to Abbas. They will not give it to anyone. They want to get rid of Gazans from Gaza and anyway. So by killing or give up and just say that we want to leave. This land, they will not keep any Palestinian in. Because they promised Trump to give him his tower. And some investors they are coming also to build up Gaza, but not Gaza, the Palestinian Gaza, no, the Israeli Gaza or American Gaza. They might change the name even. Fucking hell.
Hey, Echo. Apparently, this guy, this idiot, what's his name? He's recording the room, the anonymous account of the audience. You see it? The bottom? What's that guy, the idiot, the mental retard? Comedy comedian. His real name is, what's his real name? Melody, do you know his real name? I know his real name. I actually have a picture of his as well.
I can't remember.
Yeah. This is the biggest problem with the clubhouse.
Is he Arab or what?
No, he's just a white person. He's a crazy mental retard. He's got about 30 phones. That's all he does. Records other people's rooms. He's got no job, no nothing. They still work. If you check his YouTube channel, barely like 20 views, 30 views. Idiot.
Yeah, he just take it and put it in YouTube.
Yeah.
Yeah, but this is against the terms and conditions for YouTube. Anyone can.
We can't kick this anonymous account out. I can't kick it out.
Why?
It doesn't give me the option. When I click on it, it just gives me anonymous visitor.
What is his name?
Is the account that he's streaming from? His name is Comedy.
Yeah, but maybe he's using another phone. He's here, but he's not.
Yeah, actually he's using the other phone.
Anyway, it is all recorded in the clubhouse anyway. He doesn't want to pay money to get this recorded rooms, so he is doing it himself.
I mean, recording without consent, that's a big thing, you know?
Yeah, but can you report it?
I can't even report this anonymous account. I can't.
Can you report in each one down? Then the clubhouse will check everyone. Then he will know that they have and take his account off. Yeah, he's gone now, maybe. He's the one. You can just click in each one.
He's still here. No, it doesn't give me the option to report.
What do you mean it doesn't give me the option?
When I click on his profile, it just says anonymous listener. It doesn't give me the option to record or anything.
Yeah, but Anonymous can record or stream. Yeah, but you go to that room where he is streaming off and report him. Because he's already opening, he's streaming from there, so you can go report him there. They will know. That's the only way. Go, click his, go to the room, click his profile, he's streaming, and write down the report. They will know.
But this asswipe has 34.
He's what?
This asshole has 30 phones.
No problem. They can just, you just click in that account. They will shut down that account. The one he's streaming from. You understand me? You just go.
Yeah, I hear you.
Yeah.
I'm actually going to put the link in the chat for you guys, if you guys can report his account.
You can report.
How do you know which account it is?
I know.
That account there. The one he's
I'll put the link in the chat right here.
But that's an inference. Like, you don't really know.
Yeah, that's the one that he's streaming from his room.
No, but
I put the link in the... I know. I have connections. Somebody texted me.
Oh, you got ESP.
Somebody texted his profile, so it's right here. This is his. This is the account that he's using to stream it from, through this anonymous account to that other account. Fucking bitch. He's got 1,200 followers. Please report this person's account. He's streaming my room through this anonymous account in the audience. I can't kick anonymous account out. I can't.
He said, what room did this happen? And what is that in the room he's streaming?
He's streaming the Amir's house, this room that you're in right now. is streaming from this house to the other house and recording it. And with the
Yeah, but is there an option streaming? Because I can see that hate speech, nudity, or sexual, unauthorized sales, false information. What one?
Put anything. The fastest one is to put maybe a terrorist. I don't know that. Fucking domestic terrorist. It's a clubhouse terrorist. Recording rooms, like doing crazy shit. Fucking.
Impersonating someone, maybe. Details. He is streaming our room. From Amir Club to another room. This is live stream. That's it. They will know. They will investigate and they will know. That's it. You do it to guys the same. You click on his fucking link, profile, and just drop explanation that he was streaming. So they will see many reports, and they will go check, and they will find that he is streaming in the same time. So they will block his own. They will take this account off. He said this room is live on YouTube. Yeah, write down that this room was live also on YouTube. But what you wanna improve or prove for others that we hate this fucking shit? What they are doing to Gaza? Yeah, we hate what you are doing to Gaza, fucking assholes. It is about 11% what?
Jacob, if we remove the West Bank, because the West Bank wasn't part of it, right? Before 67.
No, I'm saying no, but you've been something about your 6.5% didn't make sense for me. The 6.5% is the Jewish land ownership, let's say acres, divided by the total acres of mandatory Palestine, which includes that which was carved off in 1946 before the partition plan. So Britain created a Shemite kingdom of Jordan to the east of the Jordan River. So if you look at just the area to the west of the Jordan River, 56% was given to the Jews. The remainder, 44%, was given to the Arabs. If you took that which was purchased legally and divided by that acreage, or square miles, or whatever you want to call it, comes out, and put it into ChatGPT, and you'll see the answer comes out about 11%.
Are you adding the one in the West Bank, the area in the West Bank?
Yeah, it's specific to the denominator.
No, but I'm saying let's take West Bank out of the picture. 47, 48, right?
Yeah, no, I'm saying there's two parts to the area to the west, right? Let me bring this map. There is the area given to the Jews, and the area is given to the Arabs, right? So the Jewish portion is 12% of the entire portion of that to the west.
So this is before the 67, right?
Yeah, this is in 1948. Sorry, 47. The plan came out in 47. And it looks like this. I'll show you. Let me show you the.
But are you sure? Because it wasn't the Jewish state, right?
No, but it was that which was allocated to the Jewish state or the Arab state. So here, I'll show you what I'm talking about. There's something about that 625. It's like, wow, that seems really small. But that's because you're expressing the Jewish state area divided by the entire mandatory Palestine area. And we know that in 46, 78% was given away to Jordan. There's only 22% left. And that got divided by 56 and 45. So the Jewish state got 12.5% of the total, and the remainder was given to the Arabs. So let me show you what I'm talking about.
With that golden age that you mentioned, it doesn't got nothing to do with the neo-Islamist Muslim Brotherhood and other sort of movements that we see today. So I wasn't talking about Muslim Brotherhood. From what the night.
I can't really show the bottom because the bottom is the negative. Oops. Okay, did that work? Did my PTR change? Yeah. So the blue part, right? Is that which was allocated. So I asked ChatGPT how much of that area was legally purchased, right? Because you've been saying 6.5%. If you look at just as a percentage of the blue area assigned to the Jewish state by the UN, it's 12%, or between 10 and 12%. So I cut it down the middle and said 11%.
And this was legally purchased by the Jewish folks.
Correct. The 6.5% that you're quoting is doing the total that they own divided by the entire mandate of Palestine. Which, of course, doesn't make sense because the area to the right or to the east of the Jordan River was already cleaved off. So we can't include that.
Amir, can I buy a Camry?
David, Josh, welcome to the podcast.
We're talking serious stuff.
Thanks so much. It's great to have you.
Well, everyone knows that Emin Rothschild and post-Monte Fury bought up land from the Arabs. It was legal purchases. The Mufti didn't like it, but what can you do?
He actually said in the appeal commission that it was all purchased legally.
That's a Zionist talking point.
I mean, it could be.
To be honest, actually, in the appeal commission report, in one of the appendices, there's an interview with him, and he says all of the land that they had was purchased legally. I think that was 1938. That report came out, or they did the research.
Was it after the white papers or before?
I have to check. Well, I just remember when the appeal commission came out, was it 39? Was the final report? One of them?
Yeah. I mean, I'd have to look into it, but
yeah. So that's the 6.5%.
The Grand Mufti told his Arab population not to sell their land to Jews, but not everyone listens.
Grand Mufti of Jerusalem actually was worried about the Zionists taking over.
Who is the Duke of New York?
That's why he told them not to sell.
Yeah, I'm not sure exactly what you're bringing to light on here.
Yeah, that's why he endorsed Hitler. He wanted to he wanted to nation for his own people. Oh. Hey, what's up, buddy?
Does that calculation make sense?
Precise control over their actions in a way that is necessary for moral responsibility or be the ultimate source of or originator of their actions.
Yeah, it kind of, yeah. Oh, sorry. Yeah, no, I think
I think like a compatibilist or somebody who affirms some sort of determinism and libertarian, or not, not libertarian free will, but they'll affirm a free will and they'll say that you're still accountable for your actions because, you're the ultimate source of those actions. But that's different than what a libertarian would say. A libertarian free will would be the first definition, which is the one I would affirm. And I do think we have it, the ability to choose among available options. But you brought up Robert Sapolsky. I was interested. I don't know, Sasha, are you there? Sasha, I think is kind of familiar with Sapolsky, has some thoughts about it. But Sapolsky did a debate with Humer. Did you watch that, Alfonso? The Michael Humer debate?
No.
Oh, it's really good.
I watched the one with Dan Decker.
Okay, yeah. So Michael Humer affirms free will, and in the sense of libertarian free will, and it's an interesting discussion. I would strongly, I think you'll find it to be fascinating.
Yeah.
So Robert Sapolsky and Michael Humer, Huemer, and it's on YouTube, but it's free or whatever. But they both go back and forth, and I think it's very interesting. I affirm Michael Humer's position, but I think that you can kind of see the two up against each other. But yeah, if you're determined, it seems like it casts a lot of doubt on a lot of different things, like deliberating between, like weighing options for and against, or weighing reasons for and against affirming some particular conclusion. Seems like if you don't have any freedom over that, it's kind of interesting to wonder how it is that we're coming to true conclusions. If you just say that it's evolution, that it's just some kind of thing that comes from evolution. I don't know why evolution would ensure that most of our beliefs would be true. And obviously there's disagreement among people. So if we're all evolved, we don't have any freedom in choosing what it is that we believe. And it's just evolution that's ensuring that we come to true beliefs. Then why is it that we all have radically different beliefs? So I don't know. There's a lot of things to talk about there.
How do you choose your belief, Andrew?
So I think, for example, if you see evidence that's on par with something that's
Using it right because you're giving something to be convinced of. That's the whole point.
Well, no, I'm saying if you're equal.
Andrew, when someone says they can choose beliefs, that means they can just choose something at will without any prior knowledge of or any experience of. So when you say you're providing data, information, experience, you're being convinced.
Of two different positions that are opposed. So if you have two different positions that are opposed and you have equal evidence for both, or you can't discern much difference between the two, you could just opt to choose one. Well, I do believe that that's possible.
Convincing of one versus the other.
You may just prefer it.
Let me ask you a question, James. So do you agree with the definition the first definition Alfonso read, which is you're able to choose between available options? Is that correct?
The capacity or ability of a person to choose between different possible courses of action, and then exercise control over their actions in a way that is necessary for moral responsibility.
Was that the first definition you read?
Yeah, the first one. So it says, so there's A and B and C. Okay, so so the capacity or ability of a person, and then you have A, B, and C. A is to choose between different courses of actions. B is exercise control over their actions that are necessary for moral responsibility, and C be the ultimate source or originator of their actions. So there's a gradient there. What do you think? I'm gonna post it up if that's okay, JCC.
Yeah, go ahead.
I'm curious if you would agree with free will as the capacity to choose among available options. Do you think that's something you agree would be a free will? Or?
Yeah, absolutely. But the thing is...
it was for a question for James.
Sorry. Sorry.
No, yeah, I don't agree that that's actual free will. That's why I brought up it.
Okay, so
There are so many antecedents leading up to that event that you don't have control over that will influence your decision-making process in said event.
yeah, but the question is that okay, but the question is, do you think people have the capacity to choose among available options, or do you have that capacity?
No, I said we do have the capacity.
Okay.
However, just because we have the capacity to choose from options available to us, that we can make rational decisions on what we want to choose, whether it be for moral reasons or for other reasons, does not entail "quote unquote" free will. As far as I understand.
Okay, that's fine, because I mean, I think that that's like our different understanding of what the meaning of free will is. But my claim is that we have the capacity to choose between available options, and I believe that, and correct me, Alfonso, if I'm wrong, you don't think we have that capacity.
Well, it's a little nuanced, right? I think I would claim that the difference between you and I is we have the capacity to choose, but that capacity is informed by an action-reaction, by a determined system, right? So, if you offer me chocolate and vanilla ice cream, I have the capacity.
That's not a difference. I don't know why you say it's a difference between you and I, because I don't disagree with that.
Well, let me expand. Let me quickly expand on what I was trying to say. I have the capacity to choose between chocolate and vanilla, but it's not freely that I choose one or the other. There's something inbuilt. There's a course of actions that have led me to choose one from the other. It can be very subtle or it can be very strong. So if we're not talking about two flavors of ice cream, but rather, choosing to kill someone, right? Okay, let's say you put me, instead of putting me chocolate and vanilla ice cream, you put two people in front of me, right? And one is.
I'm gonna send you some prayers from the talk. I'm gonna send you some prayers from the talk.
Little, he goes, I live in America. What do you want me to do? What do you? The guy was a trap. He goes, you don't live in there. You don't have to live there. Just get away or something. I don't know what his response was. That was funny as hell.
He was like, you guys need to leave. You guys need to leave. I was like, I live in America. Where the fuck am I gonna go? Where am I gonna go? Oh, that was funny.
Look, he's back again. He's recording again. This Ananda.
Yo, what's the YouTube account? I wanna
It's in the chat. It's in the chat.
For people that gotta pick them out.
No, I know these people. This Anon guy is the one that's.
Yeah, what is he? What's the name? Anon?
The YouTube video. You can check. I can't. It doesn't give me the option.
There is an option. 3 dots up.
Okay.
Go down. There is like audio. The people who can come on the stage. You just put it to the first one, the first option.
What is the first one? It says not needed.
Yalla, 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 yalla.
Can you give me the admin for 1 minute, please?
You cannot kick people from the fucking room anymore, motherfucker. You hear, motherfucker? You can't do shit, motherfucker. You can't do shit now, motherfucker. You can't stop it, motherfucker.
I already checked the instruction. It doesn't give me the option. you tried it. Not just from this room. This phone.
We got this motherfucker. We are recording you, motherfucker.
Sure, let me.
You afraid? You say something you shouldn't have said.
Title, and then it says allow in room chat. I have it on blue. The room chat. Room chat has nothing to do with it.
Got you, Amir Edward.
Okay, pin link. I have the pin link. Background music. Hand raising. Everyone can.
You hear this? Dr. Australia, they're freaking out.
Yeah, but hand raising is for people to come up here on stage.
Yeah, I know, but you put it just 1 minute not to anyone can come up.
Okay, let me put
Can
it
you
to
go asshole?
no one can.
Asshole.
That's what you're saying?
Yeah. Go down. Now you can.
Alright, let's try that.
So Amir, PTR.
Still I can't, bro. It doesn't give me the option. I'm telling you,
He cannot give you the option.
Clubhouse with the anonymous account, you can't kick anybody out, man, with they face anonymous account.
His name is Anon.
Yeah, that's not his name. That's anonymous.
That's me. He's playing. There's only one viewer anyway.
Yeah, but that's one viewer anonymous. That's anonymous. That's a short form. Alpha, can you show him you become anonymous? Show him the magic.
How to become
Look, Alpha is going to come back as anonymous now. You see, the second anon is Alpha.
Yeah.
Because he's paying for the monthly plan.
Yeah,
Paying the monthly plan to record the terrorist as you motherfucker.
What's up, Shape? Leave this room, and then on the top it says incognito. It has a little ticker. You turn that on, and then come back in, and then you'll be in the audience. You'll be one of the anon.
So you
I can't. No, I cannot. No.
Oh my god, that's they want to give, they take money.
What's up, Shapeshifter? How you doing there? You see? A whole bunch of anon now in the audience. I think the third one is Wednesday, I think. She left and she became incognito.
What's going on? Yeah, but they have two now.
So many anonymous people, man. Too many. And one of the anonymous people streaming my live on YouTube, man.
Oh, really?
Amir, PTR, Amir.
Like live right now.
Who's this person? Oh yeah, this is the guy, man. This is the fucker. This is the guy. Check his picture, PTR. This is the guy on YouTube that's streaming my room live right now.
All right, that guy, yeah.
Yep. And he's, I believe he's Jewish.
Yeah, he's a house member.
He's gonna get like
I don't know what his account is. Otherwise, I'll probably block him. If I block that anonymous account, then they can't come in. Either as anonymous or whatever.
He's gonna get like 3 views. I'd be really worried if I were you.
No, I'm not worried, but I'm just saying, without consent, we have Palestinians that come in here that live in the West Bank, essentially. And that's what I'm trying to avoid. Because there are some Palestinians that told me that, because I wanted to do rooms with replays on. But do you remember? And then I received some messages from Palestinians, and they're like, nah, don't do it because of the safety concern. So I turned it off. But this idiot wants to put it out there.
Can't you just kick him?
Oh boy.
No, you can't kick me, motherfucker.
There's no option. When I click on it,
You can't kick me,
it
bitch.
says, look, I'll tell you. It says,
You can't kick me, bitch. You can't kick.
Is there anything,
Why can't he kick?
anything interesting happen?
Yeah, someone live streamed the whole fucking room, motherfucker. That's right, bitch. The room's fucking recorded.
So there is an option also on your profile. You can choose